Welcome to the Prop Market. I'm your host, the Prop King, and today I have my 2024 college football season win totals Group of Five edition. Now, some of you wondering, what's the Group of Five edition? Well, this is all the schools that are not in the Power Four conferences, like the SEC, the ACC, the Big 12, and the Big 10. Those are the Power Four conferences. The Group of Five are all the other conferences that are Division One. So we have a lot to choose from, but I got it down to just three teams that I really, really love. Okay. And I'm going to tell you what, this is where you print your money. This is where you get all your money to come into fruition because these teams are not valued by these books the way they should be. So it's going to be a great investment. You look at a lot of these teams, their numbers are a little lower because they're not in the major conferences. And so we're going to execute and take advantage of that as we go through this show. Three things that I always look for when I make picks. Number one, I'm looking at the talent, production coming back. I'm looking at the team and the skill. I'm also looking at the schedule. So how does the schedule shape out? Who are they playing? How many good teams are they playing against? How many games are they favored in? And what are these other teams looking like? And another thing I'm always looking at, the third thing is I'm always looking at the number. I'm looking at the number that Vegas gave us. How many wins is Vegas saying they're going to have? So when you look at those things, that's really how you make your picks. And they don't have to always be in the same order of importance. It depends on the team, it depends on the situation on which one is more important. So without all that being said, let's go ahead and get to our first pick. Our first pick is going to be our Boise State Broncos. Okay, Spencer Danielson is the head coach, 8-6 last year, 6-2 in the conference. Their win total line is set at 9.5. That's kind of high, might scare some people away, but not me. I'm looking at this team and they have a lot returning. The team that everybody's coming back, mainly all their bright spots are coming back, and the ones that they have lost, they've upgraded with the transfer portal. So the best players from last year are coming back, and the ones that aren't, they just upgraded them in the transfer portal, which is what great teams do. So let's start with the transfer quarterback coming in, Malachi Nelson from USC. He was a number one ranked recruit in 2023. So he's not some bum that's coming in to take over Boise State. He was the stud of 2023 class as far as the quarterback is concerned. A guy with a bunch of talent, not a lot of experience, but the talent is there. And coming to the conference that he's coming in, he should be able to take advantage of all the weapons around him. And speaking of weapons, I think they have the best running back in the nation in Ashton Genty. This dude is a straight up stud, ran for 1,347 yards and 14 touchdowns last year. He runs very hard. He has great vision. He has great balance. He is a guy that if you can put him in any Big 10, Big 12, SEC, ACC team, he will play for them. He will probably start for most of them. And they have him here at Boise State playing against the teams they're going to be playing against. They also return 4 out of 5 linemen, which is huge. So the offensive line has got everyone returning except one guy, which they hit the transfer portal to bring in someone to help that out as well. Wide receiver Prince Stacker's coming back, a good tight end as well. So they have a decent group of wide receivers and some guys that are also transferring in that position. Let's get to the defense. Top 4 tacklers are returning on defense. So not only do they have a lot of returners, it's high production. Pass rusher Ahmad Hassan. I'm going to say some of these names wrong, and I'm sorry. He led the team with 12.5 sacks. You also have a solid other defensive lineman, Herbert Gums, Braxton Felly, Michael Callahan. So in the trenches, they are very strong, offensive and decent defensively. You're looking for great teams, it starts in the trenches. They have linebacker Simpson coming back, who's a tackling machine. They have the leading tackler coming back, who was a safety, Alexander Tubener, and he had 85 tackles last year. So you look at their defense, it's very strong, very, very talented, and also have a lot of experience. Same thing with their offense outside of their quarterback, who I feel has a chance to be the player of the year. If not, it's Ashton Genty. So both of those guys will probably be competing for the player of the year in this conference. Now to their schedule. Boise State has a decent schedule if you look at it. They got Georgia State. It's going to be a win. Oregon, okay, that's going to be a loss, right? They're going to struggle with Oregon. Portland State, that's another win. Washington State, I have them winning that game. Utah State, they'll take care of them. Hawaii, who is much improved, it's all the way in Hawaii, but I still have Boise State pulling that game out. They're going to be too big for them in the trenches. UNLV, once again, this is a toss-up game. I'm leaning towards Boise State, but this game is going to be in Vegas. It's going to be where the Raiders play. It's going to be a lot of hoopla. You never know what could happen. So I got it as a toss-up. San Diego State have lost a lot of talent. Nevada as well. San Jose State and Wyoming, they're all bottom half teams in the nation as far as wins and power rankings are concerned. And their win totals are very low. Look at Oregon State. That's a team that I have it as a toss-up due to the fact that they're an ex-Pac-12 team. They should have some holdover talent. I still think I lean towards Boise State. So if I'm looking at their schedule, there's only one game that I'm concerned about, and that's Oregon. Other than that, I think they're going to easily hit this over 9.5 wins. Next team we have is the Texas State Bobcats. GJ Kinney as their head coach. 8-4 last year, 4-4 as a conference record. They ended the season with a bowl win where they just terrorized the whole game. Defense looked way better than they looked all year long. Their win total set at 8.5. So yeah, you look at that. That's a pretty high total for Texas State if you look at their history. But if you look at their team, you'll see transfer quarterback Jordan McLeod comes in from James Madison. Now, this is just not your average transfer quarterback. He was the Sun Belt Conference Player of the Year last year. So Texas State has the best player in the conference coming to their team. And they're in the same conference. They're also in the Sun Belt. And last year, he threw for 35 touchdowns and just 10 interceptions. Like I said, very efficient, took care of the football, made the right play. He's going to also have a lot of talent around him, starting with their running back, Ishmael Mahdi, rushed for 1,300 yards. So you got a 1,000-yard rusher coming back who's quick, who can make all the cuts, and he can take it to the house. They also bought in a transfer running back, Deion Hankins from UTEP, who I felt like was their best running back. Now, he's more of a thumper. He's going to get downhill. He's going to get up 4 or 5 yards. He's going to be hard to tackle. So that running game is going to be stout for any team they play against. Now let's get to the other things. Wide receivers, they have a lot of wide receiver talent coming back. Herbert's coming back. Also have Jaden Williams coming back, a transfer from Boston College, I'm sorry. And they also have really, really good tight end room that they're really excited about. And their offensive line, they're all juniors and seniors. So a very veteran offensive line that Jordan McLeod's going to play behind. Now, the defense was a struggle last year. If you didn't see them in the bowl game, that's what they should have looked like all year. They are returning 4 guys in the secondary, but the secondary wasn't that great. So that's probably where their main returners are coming in. They also bought in 5 transfer players to kind of shore up that defense. 2 linebackers, Matty Nunnery and Traylon Payne from University of Houston. So they've been plucking guys from here and there. So, since Kenny's been there, he's shown the ability to really, really recruit. The process is going to happen as far as the defense. The defense is just going to have to play good enough to stop some of these teams they're playing. Luckily, they're playing against teams that aren't high-powered offenses sometimes. So let's get to their schedule. Lamar is going to be a win. You look at UTSA, that's going to be a win. Arizona State, I have it as a toss-up. It's going to be in San Marcos. And it's going to be crazy down there. So it's going to also be on a Thursday night. So Arizona State's on a short week. and they're coming to Texas State, even though they're a bigger conference team, I still have it as a toss-up. I have them beat Sam Houston, could be a toss-up as well. I'm very high on them. Troy, I have it as a win. Arkansas State win. Old Dominion, Old Dominion and Troy are really going to struggle this year. So those wins are for sure. Louisiana Lafayette, I'm high on Louisiana Lafayette. I have it as a toss-up. Monroe, they're going to struggle along with Southern Miss and Georgia State. Those three teams are all bottom half teams. South Alabama, I have them getting to win that game as well. So you look at their schedule, it kind of pans out really good. Have them at 10.5 wins. There's not one game on their schedule that I'm like they can't win. So you want to pick this. This is a great EV pick. Those people that are into EV picks, this is a great EV pick. Not one team are they serious underdogs. You can't help but love this over 9.5 wins for Texas State Bobcats. Now to my last pick, I have my South Florida Bulls. Head coach Alex Golesh, 7-6 record. I have win total line at 7.5. The Bulls, I have them returning their starting quarterback, Byron Brown. Okay, Byron Brown showed up and showed out last year. They're gonna play very fast, very quick tempo, and he's kind of used to that. They ended the season with a 45-0 win versus Syracuse in their bowl game. Um, and Byron Brown, 315 yards per game. He had 3,300 yards passing, and he also had 800 rushing yards. So he was one of, if you look at it, he can do it with his feet and with his arm, which is a great thing if you're looking at quarterbacks nowadays. Um, he has, lost his starting running back, but they have Nicolin Wright coming back, so they have a really good running back coming back. Also, they have their best receiver coming back, Sean Atkins. He's 1,000 yard receptions, 1,000 yard receiving yards, and 92 receptions. So very, very good returners on the offensive side. As far as the offensive line is concerned, 4 offensive line returning. And once again, they also have a Purdue transfer wide receiver coming in to kind of compete as well at that receiving position. So a bunch of talent on the offensive side of the ball. You see, I have the pick top 10 in returning production in the nation. Now, I'm huge on this. It just shows that they have a lot of guys that played last year who on a team that won 7 games, they're coming back. So you gotta love that. You gotta love the experience they're gonna have. They're in the system. They know what's going on. They know what Goalish wants. And so I'm really high on this team for that second dot right there, that second bullet, top 10 in returning production. When you see that, that means there's going to be a lot of things that they don't have to go through this season that some teams will. The defense brings back 8 starters. It also added a DB in the portal. They have, Cheney coming back, a linebacker Schuler coming back, and they have a corner Armani Brown. They also have the best recruiting class in the history of this school. And they also have, 4 out of their 5 best tacklers coming back. So you look at this team, it's so much talent coming back. Now the defense did struggle last year, but bringing back these 8 starters, hopefully they fix some of that, or they had a bunch of experience as well. So as we go to their schedule's not going to be easy. Bethune-Cookman, I have that as a win. Alabama, ooh, it's going to be tough. I have it as a loss. I don't think they're going to win this game against Alabama. Southern Miss is going to struggle this year. It's a win. Miami, I'm sorry, it's in South Florida. They're still going to lose. Tulane, I have it as a toss-up. Memphis, also another toss-up. I have UAB as a win. Florida Atlantic win. Navy, even though some people are high on Navy, I'm waiting to see win. And then the next two, Charlotte and Tulsa, are going to be at the bottom of the conference, win, and then Rice win. So you see it shape up. They have 2 toss-up games. They have 2 losses for sure. And that makes it hard for some people to pick a team when there's no way they're going to beat Alabama. Unfortunately, there's no way they're going to beat University of Miami. But you look at a team like Tulane, that's a toss up. Memphis, it's at home. I feel like Memphis is getting a lot of love. I'm not ready yet. So, with all that being said, I have them over the 7.5 wins for UCF. I love this team. I want to back a team that has a lot of experience and a really good quarterback. Those are two things that are very important, and they have both of them. Here's my other content that I have. I have my Big 12 conference predictions. You can see the links are all linked right there. I also have my ACC and my SEC predictions. So I have also other predictions as well on there from other conferences. So please go to the channel, check out everything that I have on there, all the resources. If you find this information useful, please like and subscribe. And the more subscriptions, the more videos I do, the more information I give out. Um, like I said, this information is it's just to be useful to you. You can take these picks if you want them. You can leave them if you don't. So just take what you like and leave what you don't. Either way, this information is yours. Thank you for tuning in. And let's, like I always say, let's all cash in.